Hello and welcome back to another video. I can't believe it, but it's already the end of February, so I thought I definitely need to get my February wrap up filmed and edited before we enter March at the weekend, which is honestly so bizarre. Like, I always feel like January and February feel like really long months, but then once they're done, it's kind of like, wow, everything goes so quick from here. This month I finished 7 books, so I thought we would just kind of go through them all. I'm just going to do it by section because I feel like that's an easier way to go about it. And starting off, I finally finished my ACOTAR reread. I was rereading the ACOTAR series before I started the Crescent City series, and it was honestly the best decision ever. I haven't found any link so far between Crescent City and ACOTAR, but doing the reread was just so much fun anyway that I'm just so glad that I did it because I had so much fun doing this. So I finished these books in the series. I'm not going to go through them all and give you like in-depth reviews because obviously this is a reread. I've already read these books before and I have done like an ACOTAR review over on my channel in like one of my earlier videos. So if you want to see my thoughts and opinions on the ACOTAR series, then go ahead and watch that video. I didn't read them all one by one, like one after the other. I did read other books in between because I actually did a 24-hour reading challenge this month, which is also another video that is live on my channel, so you can go and watch that one as well. And I read some of these books as part of that, so I didn't just sit and kind of like read them one by one. I kind of like mix other books in them as well. These are 4 of the books that I read this month. And then sticking to kind of like the fantasy genre-ish, I also read Like a Charm. Again, this is another book that I read as part of my 24-hour reading challenge, and I'm not gonna lie, I didn't enjoy this at all. I think I only rated this like 2 stars, but in hindsight I probably could have given this a 1 star because I didn't enjoy it. It just kind of felt like fluff. The whole book felt like fluff. There wasn't really anything in it that captivated me or made me really excited. I didn't feel connected to the characters. I didn't really feel like it had much of a plot, to be honest, and like even though it's only like 200 and something pages, I feel like there could have been so much more to this story than there was. So I rated this one really low, unfortunately, which I do feel really bad about, but at the end of the day I didn't enjoy it, so I couldn't give it a high rating. But this was Like a Charm by Kerry Barrett. And another book that I read as part of my 24-hour reading challenge is Magnolia Parks. I really enjoyed this. It really did feel like Gossip Girl but set in London. It also had major Made in Chelsea vibes as well, which was just so much fun and I really loved it. I think BJ and Magnolia are both so toxic. They definitely both did some things that I didn't agree with and I don't think were very nice. But there was something about this book that was completely addictive. It made me forget I was reading, and that is exactly what I look for when I'm reading a book. I want to feel like I'm not reading anything. I want to feel like I'm immersed in the world and with the characters, having a great time. And I really felt like this with Magnolia Parks, so I cannot wait to move on to Daisy Hates because apparently it just gets even better from here. I rated this 4.5 stars purely because something big happens in it and I did guess the big thing, so I felt like I didn't want to give it 5 stars because it was a little bit predictable, but I don't mind that. I still had a really great time reading it. So yeah, this was one of my favorite books that I read this month. And then the other book that I read this month is Mile High by Liz Tom Ford. And I'm going to be honest, I actually was a little bit disappointed by this book, only because it's so hyped on TikTok. I really thought I was going to get immersed in the world and be totally obsessed with the characters, but to be honest, I just wasn't. I thought they were likable, they were nice characters, like there wasn't anything bad about it. I just didn't love them. I didn't feel that obsessed with them. And I also felt like this was way too long. Like, I think this book was like 600 pages and by 50% of the way through I was like, wow, we literally could have ended the story here. Like, there just didn't need to be the rest of it, if that makes sense. I just didn't find it that interesting, I'm not gonna lie. It was okay, but I have been told by the girls on the Bookstagram that I do need to read the rest of the series because apparently it does get better and the other books are much better than the first one. So I think maybe I will pick up the rest of the books at some point and just give them a go because I think this was on Kindle Unlimited anyway, so if the rest of them are on Kindle Unlimited I might just give it a go. Yeah, so all in all I actually only gave this a 2.5 star rating because I wasn't that excited by it, I'm not gonna lie. It didn't excite me that much. That was all of the 7 books that I read this month. I feel like that was so short and sweet, but because ACOTAR was a reread and that's like 4 books and they're quite thick as well, that took up most of my time, so I didn't actually read that many many new books this month, but I did start A House of Earth and Blood, and that is amazing. That's the first book in the Crescent City series. So I will probably have finished that book by, so that, what, the last day in February is tomorrow. So I will probably have finished that book by tomorrow, because I'm going to try and finish it tonight, because honestly, you know what it's like when you get to the last 100 pages of a Sarah J Maas book and you're literally like reading like this, like you just can't put it down, right? That is the stage that I'm at right now. So I'm going to try and finish it definitely by the weekend. And then going into March, my TBR for March is quite an exciting month for me. First of all, if you don't follow me over on TikTok and Instagram, then I have started my own book club, which I'm so excited for. It's on Fable and it's called The Girls Bookshelf, so you can go ahead and join my book club if you would like to. All of the links will be down in the description box and also over on my Instagram and my TikTok. But the book that we have chosen for month 1 is The Crimson Moth. So I am really excited to read that, because this is basically about a witch and a witch hunter, and I'm guessing at some point they fall in love. And I just think that makes perfect story. Do you not think? I just think that sounds so good. So that is going to be one of the first books that I read this month, because obviously it's the first book club pick. So I'm gonna start it very, very soon. And then after that, the other exciting thing, I have been sent my very first arc, which is called The Elf Witch. I'll pop a little picture on the screen, by Jacqueline Gilmore, and I am so very excited to have received my very first arc, because I've never read one before, but I've always wanted to like see what it's like. So that is going to be the second book I probably read this month, if I can hold off reading the rest of Crescent City straight away, because I have a feeling by the time the first book is ended, I'm going to need to move on to book 2 immediately. So I think maybe I might leave that towards the end of the month, so I might just see how I'm getting on with Crescent City and read that at some point. But then the only other books I'm going to put on my TBR are going to be the next 2 books in the Crescent City series, which are, I can't even remember. So the next one is A House of Sky and Breath, and then the third one is House of Flame and Shadow. So I'm very, very excited about that. I think those are probably going to be my 4 books. I'm going to have to read more than 4 books though, because otherwise I'm not going to hit my goal of 103 books this year. But those are going to be my top 4 books anyway. Crimson Moth, House of Sky and Breath, House of Flame and Shadow, and The Elf Witch are going to be the 4 main books that I pick up this month. I just remembered as well, I am planning to do my first ever buddy read with a girl on Instagram, and we have chosen to read The Love of My After... God, that just blinded me. The Love of My Afterlife, which I'm so very excited for. I think, again, this is going to be a really cutesy romance, which is going to be quite nice after the absolute hell I think I'm going to go through while reading Crescent City. So we're going to start this quite early on in March. So this is probably going to get read alongside some other books as well, which is totally fine because I'm okay doing that. But yeah, those are going to be my TBR books for the month. That was a very short and sweet wrap up, guys, but I hope that you enjoyed it. Hopefully next month I will read some more books and we will have more to discuss. But thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed my video and I will see you in the next one. Bye!